Hello, ladies. I'm so sorry. So I was live streaming once again. YouTube crashed and I lost that stream. So I'm going to start where I was, but know that there is a part 1 to the stream, which I will link later in the description box and in the first comment so that you guys can find that. So let me know when you guys are here. I'll give you guys a second to hop on. I know it takes a minute. Okay, Maggie's here, so it must all be good. Thank you so much for letting me know that you can see it. I'm so sorry, YouTube has been glitching massively. So I was sharing my original love list with you guys, and I will go through it again. I think it got stuck at some point. Please, if you would give this video a thumbs up as well so other people can find it. Also, if someone would share this stream, if the other one's still going live in there in the chat, I'd really greatly appreciate it. So here is the original love list that I created in 2008, early 2008. And as I was mentioning previously, that a lot of it did get deleted just from, you know, sitting around in my closet for so long. So I will start reading this again. And if you guys have questions, then you can ask me. So passionate, ambitious, generous, understanding, not non-judgmental, open-minded, Urdu speaking. Urdu is my parents' native term. Chang is also a language that I speak fluently. Educated, financially secure, loyal to me, a good father, a great person, honest, hardworking, laid back, family-oriented, sharing, caring, fun to be around, someone who loves me and Irfan dearly and honestly. Then I lost a lot of the top one. Then it says loves my cooking, takes care of me and my son, makes me a priority in his life, someone with intellect and grace, someone who makes me feel secure, so, and forgiving. So that is what I had, the original one. Now, since then, I have updated this love list many times because I believe that every time we want to ascend to the next level, we have to call the other person there energetically. And so I have, in the last 12 years of marriage, probably done at least 4 or 5 love lists. And every single time, it's like I up level to match my love list and then he up levels. Now, a huge part of my love list is that I have to be the reciprocal of it. So if I want someone, you know, giving, for example, then I need to know how to receive, right? Because you can't have one without the other. So I have a whole series on love lists. You guys can check those out later on if you want more information about that. So give this a like, guys. I feel like YouTube has been glitching so much recently, and I lost all the questions in the other chat that you guys had asked. So if you can post them again, and I will see if I can answer those. Or maybe I can still access, okay, I can still access that. So let's see. Okay, let me throw that in there too. Come see me on new link. Okay. So let me see if I can answer some of the questions that were posed there. I did the same thing, but I think I'm stuck in the how. He's so amazing on my paper. That is so funny, Jacqueline. I saw the comment from the previous stream. I still have my love list, ladies. It works. It sure does. And Stephanie, yours worked fast. That's what I'm facing now, making my list. Does this man even exist? So remember, ladies, that the way to call in the man is to become the reciprocal of the list. He can't exist until you know how to receive that. Can love list be used in multiple parts of life? Absolutely. I have one for my friends, like the kind of girlfriends that I want to attract, the kind of business clients that I want to attract, the kind of relationships that I want to have with my kids. Like I have this, it's intention setting, right? It's like, what am I available for? And that also says, what am I not available for, right? So absolutely. I lost the list part. Mina, I'm Brazilian and my husband's American. He has no interest in learning my native language. Do you guys speak Urdu as a family? Is he learning, is learning Portuguese love list approved? So why do you want to force someone to learn a language that they're not interested in, right? So I'm all about accepting people for who they are and as they are. So this is something that would fall into like a violation of a spiritual law for me, which is law of free will. So anytime you tell someone that they should do something or tell people what you want them to do, there's a sense of um, resistance, right? So I experienced this too, like everyone experiences, is a human nature. So we don't speak Urdu as much. We're trying to now more because so that my kids can learn it, but probably 50-50. Irfan and I go back probably 50-50. But I think, Stephanie, I was answering this question for you in the other stream, that how someone shows up to be spiritual or anything else in your life is going to look differently than what you believe it will. So that's part of realizing it too, that not everyone will, for example, communication, right? That is something that's important to me. But it's at the same time, it's something that we can evolve into. So the biggest thing for me and Irfan, like one of our core big values is that we're growth mindset. That means that there's no like, oh, like we're bad at this or you don't have this. Like we are both learning, like we're both expanding. And so we decided to share this experience together. And so he doesn't have to be anything right now. I don't have to be anything, but it's like, okay, we're on this journey together and we're learning. So I think that is like really important as well. So back to beautiful answer. Thank you. You're welcome, Laura. Back to limiting beliefs, like I know that people have all kinds of limiting beliefs about the law of attraction as well. There's some people that think, oh, it goes against religion. I don't think so. I believe that religion, if you remove all the storytelling in religion, which is the fun part of religion, but if you removed it and just went to the core message of what every single major religion of the world is trying to tell you, it's the same thing as the law of attraction. So like in fact, like anytime even my oldest son, like he's studying different religions right now, he says, mom, they're all talking about the law of attraction, because our mom learned the law of attraction. All my kids learned the law of attraction before diving into their religious studies. That's all they see. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I've been trying to tell everyone, but people think that the law of attraction goes against religion. Like even if you read the Bible and compare it to what the law of attraction is saying, it's pretty much the same thing. So I couldn't have done or achieved any of the things that I have achieved if it wasn't for the law of attraction, because I had so many limiting beliefs, just like everyone else, when I started my journey. Response that I speak Urdu, that's amazing. Looking beautiful as always. Thank you, Alina. Elaine said, hi, Mina. How do we balance using law of attraction with inner shadow work? I want to use law of attraction, but I also want to process and work through my negative feelings. I always get confused about that. So the law of attraction is like the foundation. I would say it's setting the direction, right? It's setting the direction of where you're headed. And the shadow work is like one block of that, like one stepping stone. So another way of saying is that you don't have to balance it. They both coexist. When I didn't even know what the word inner work meant or what shadow work was or any of that stuff, the law of attraction was still working for me. But as I got more advanced in my practice, then I said, okay, well, I'm also going to do shadow work. I'm also going to do inner work. I'm also going to do visualization. And like the law of attraction wasn't like not working because I hadn't done those things. It still works. That's the beauty of it. So that's why I'm calling this video the inner work hack. Law of attraction helps you bypass all of that. You don't, I'm not saying don't do your inner work. I love inner work. You guys know that. I've spent my entire life studying this. I teach this. I'm a huge, believer in inner work. But you don't have to wait until you've done all your inner work if you understand the law of attraction. Okay? Abby said, Mina, I've been loving your live streams over the past few days. I've realized that the shortage of good men in my life was 100% down to how I was showing up and my beliefs. This is so true. I have the same experience. Now I have to work on feeling worthy of one of these good men. And so, Abby, that's what I'm saying here today is that if you're using the law of attraction, you don't even have to work on the worthiness part. Yes, you should work on that. I'm not trying to deter you, but I'm saying that the law of attraction is like a hack. So you don't even have to wait, because inner work can take time sometimes, right? We all know this, but the law of attraction helps you rewire your brain in a way that you're stopping those negative thoughts, because every time you have a negative thought, you're reinforcing that neural network in your mind. So every time I said, oh, wait a minute, I'm not supposed to be thinking about anything negative, I stopped myself midstream. What happened was that neural network was getting thinner and thinner and thinner until it would just fall away. Okay. Ayman said, hi, it's Ayman from Pakistan. You're doing a wonderful work. So I have noticed men in my life saying things like, why do you want to do something, or being protective? I feel like credibility question. Okay, what's your question, Big? Did you have a question, or was that just to share? If you can just ask me like one direct question, if you have one, that'd be great. Your most recent live streams have been so packed with knowledge. Thank you so much, Free Thinking. I appreciate it. Jacqueline said, just the fact I found this amazing channel means law of attraction is working, LOL. Thank you so much, babe. I appreciate that. Wouldn't the conflict of your shadow side cancel out the positive results you want from law of attraction? I'm not sure. It worked for me. I had a lot of shadows. So instead of sitting around and like thinking about this stuff, I just chose to have faith and do it. Like it just made sense to me. Like now I can sit around and psychoanalyze it. Like sometimes people try to argue with me, right? But I say, there's nothing to argue because I've already manifested it. So you could say, Mina, but it wouldn't work because of XYZ. And I'm going to say, but it worked. It did. I got the man, got the house, got the money, got the kids, got the body of my dreams, got the business of my dreams, found my voice, attracted the millions. Like it's done, right? So sure, you can sit around and say that, but there was something about it that resonated with me so much that I just chose to believe it 110%. I chose faith over fear. Like I was just like, I'm just gonna believe this like it is my truth. And lo and behold, things changed fast. Now, I have the love list, which I read for you guys, but I also had a vision board that went with it. And I don't have that, unfortunately, anymore. I wish I did. But on that vision board, I had put that the man that I would attract would be making, I think I had put like 130,000 or 150,000 a year. I had put that I wanted a paid off house. I wanted to be a millionaire someday. I had put that on there. I had put that I wanted to write a book. Like, you know, just like different things on there. So it went hand in hand. But my biggest thing was that I just chose faith. I just chose to believe it 110%. I know people thought I was nuts. I'm telling you here. My friends and family thought I was nuts, right? Like it just didn't make sense. My mom really liked it. She liked the concept and she watched the DVD with me a couple of times. But everyone else was just like, this doesn't make sense. That was such a helpful answer. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you so much, Rachida. You're so sweet. Thank you for the compliment. Did you picture your best self and what does she look like? So at the time, if we're back in 2008, I just was picturing the next few steps. I didn't really picture long term, but I was just like looking at like what do I need to manifest next kind of thing. Thank you for these gems, truth bombs of wisdom. Thank you so much, Fiona. Faith over fear. I'm very happy and comfortable being single, but I do want a wonderful relationship too. Does my being happy as a single woman work against the law of attraction and me attracting a man? Actually, it works for it. You cannot have a happy relationship if you're not happy single, because you're just not a happy person. And a relationship requires two happy people, right, to be in it. When we're trying to get something from the relationship that we don't have now, I think that creates so much heartache and problems and drama. So I believe that because I was also happy single, like I didn't care. I took 4 years, since the day that I filed my divorce to when I even created my love list, because I was just wanting to be with myself and just like get things in order. So I think that that will actually end up working in your favor for sure. Do you script to manifest? I don't do any of this stuff actually. I have shared I have several law of attraction programs, and there are different levels. There's a beginner level, mid-level, and an advanced level. You can find those linked in the description box. I have shown you how to do that stuff if you want to, but honestly, the more complicated you make it, the more complicated it will seem, and the harder it will be. It's not supposed to be hard. It's really not. It is the easiest thing on the planet. And I think that people overcomplicate it. I actually asked my husband this years ago. I was like, why do people overcomplicate things? And he said, I know why teachers overcomplicate it. He's like, when something's really easy, the person that can overcomplicate it makes the most money, because then it's like you have to go to that person to get the answers, right? But honestly, the law of attraction is the easiest, like most life-changing thing that I've ever found, because it's so easy that I could do it even when I hadn't done my inner work, when I didn't understand any of the concepts. And I am so glad that I didn't find any of the really complicated law of attraction teachings until maybe a couple of years ago. I started seeing them everywhere, because that probably would have screwed me up. I like keeping things really, really simple. So I've shared this with you guys before. I'm a human design projector. I'm an empath. I read people's energies. I get really easily overwhelmed if I'm overscheduled, if I'm overtired, I get people fatigue really easily. I'm the kind of person that needs to keep life really, really easy. And the easier my life is, the more fun that I have, the more romance I have, the more bliss I feel, the healthier I am, and the more money I make. So I just like to keep things really, really easy. Lori said, hi, Mina. I have learned that in order to attract the house that I want, I must feel as if I already had it. But when I look around my house, it's hard to feel it. How can I approach this? So you have to appreciate the house that you already have. There's something about what is a house? So a house is a container, right? It's a masculine structure that gives us security and comfort, and we can create laughter in it, we can create memories. So what does that mean for you? Like, why do you want to attract another house, right? Like, what's a house, right? Is it just construction materials? Like, what does it mean to you? And then if those core feelings, you feel into them now, right? So I can feel just as peaceful and secure in a cardboard box, if that's all I had, or a mansion, because that's what I have. So there's plenty of people living in mansions that are not feeling secure and all that wonderful stuff. So you need to find the feeling of, why do I want this thing? Because I think a lot of people want things just to want them, or just because they think that that's what they're supposed to want, and then they can't get behind the feeling because they don't even know why they want it. So first of all, why do you want a house? Like, what does it represent to you? That's what they mean when they say tap into that feeling. Hi, Mina. What actions can a projector take to attract the people they're meant to serve? I'm a stay-at-home mom and I want to manifest financial independence. I get stuck in how people will find me. People will find you as a projector when you're living your best life. So people find me through my YouTube channel because I am animating something that they desire, because I am living my authentic life. So this may mean different things for different people, but that's how it's come about for me. One of the biggest things that everyone can do, just not for Margaret, is stop worrying about the future. So one of the biggest things you have to learn about the law of attraction is that you can only create in the present moment. That's why, as Jack Canfield said in the DVD, you only worry about the next step. And that you can only do in the present moment. So I know people in my life think I'm very impulsive, and I can see why they would think that, but I live in the moment and I just go with what my internal nudge is telling me to go. That's it. That is what I do. If I feel like making a video, I make a video. If I don't feel like doing it, I don't do it. If I feel like hanging out with people, I do it. If I don't, I don't. Like, I am very much about what do I feel like doing, and I consider that God's will sending me in the right direction. So if you want financial independence, okay, you can put that in your vision board, but what do I need to do right now? Like, what do I need to do right now? What's the internal nudge? What's the divine inspiration to move towards to that? And the other thing is, why do you want financial independence? So I asked myself that, right? I had put, I want to be a millionaire on my vision board. So I said, why do I want this? Because I want to never have to work again, okay? Because I never have to worry about money again, okay? Because I want to feel secure no matter what happens, I can provide for Armand and myself, okay? Now, can I feel like that right now? Well, right now, even though I'm not a millionaire at that time when I was saying this in 2008, I do have a roof over my head, so I do feel secure. I do have this real estate license and this broker's license, which helps me keep food on the table. Okay, I can feel into that. So that's how you do it. That's how I did it. Stephanie said, I want to make a friend loveless. I crave true feminine friendship. Feminine friendship is such a core part of my journey and my evolution. And I think that until you have done that like the work around the feminine wound, and you can attract and keep feminine friends, you're not done with your journey. I know I've seen some videos floating around YouTube, people saying, you know, you don't need friends, and friends are just haters and they bring you down. That's still that woundedness, right? And I get it, like I've been in that mode too, but eventually you do want to up level yourself out of that like mode, because that's such a core feminine wound that you want to make sure you can heal beyond that. Because at the end of the day, like I've seen people who have feminine wounds, sisterhood wounds, and then they can't even have a relationship with their daughter because it's the same wound, right? Like it's the same thing. Thank you, Mina. That works for me. Thanks for the confirmation. This is so true. When you have a very active masculine mind, it's so easy to get lost in overthinking. Yep, we make it more complicated than it needs to be. My job is always, I always say, how can I make this easy? So that is like my thing. Like, okay, this, if someone gives me more than 2 steps for something, I'm like, okay, you lost me. And I'm thinking, how can I make this easy? Strangely enough, in my human design chart, there is a channel, I believe it's called I have a channel of surrender and a channel of judgment. But I think it's the surrender one that says that I have the ability to take old ancient information like that's deeply ingrained, like evolution, and turn it into new information. So my superpowers are that I can take something that other people complicate and make it really, really easy. That is, I think it's my greatest superpower. I have another superpower. Let me tell you guys this. My son was asking me this, would you rather, the other day. And then we both started laughing because he knew what I was going to say. He was like, would you rather have the ability to remember everything that ever comes into contact with you, like have the best memory, or have the ability to forget anything that you wanted, something like that? And then he asked me that, and then he realized he's asking the wrong person, because I have, you could call this a superpower. I have the worst memory on the planet. Okay, I know you guys may be surprised to hear this. I have one of the worst memories on the planet. I years ago was talking to someone, and they said that it, so maybe that's it, I don't know. I can't remember past events to save my freaking life. I often have to ask my husband about things from my children's childhood. I have the worst memory. I consider it the greatest gift God has given me. Because I have a bad memory, I have to give people the benefit of the doubt. And so I forgive easily and I forget easily. There have been relatives that have come up to me and said, oh, I want to apologize for something this happened 2 years ago. I'm like, dude, I don't remember. You know how my memory is. And because I don't remember, I always forgive easily. And I just give them the benefit of the doubt that maybe my memory is shady. So, secret to happy life, have the worst memory possible. You have pretty good memory though, LOL. You tell the most amazing stories. Thank you, Margaret. For some reason, it's really weird. So since I was 7, I have been reading 10 to 30 books a month. Since I was 7, I have been the biggest book nerd. In fact, my parents used to think I'm antisocial and they used to get upset. I used to hide in the closet and read because my parents thought it was a big problem. Currently, I read probably about 20 books a month. I don't know what it is. It's just my life's passion. That's why I wanted to become a millionaire, by the way. That was my motivation, that I could just sit at home and read all day and like not have to worry about anything. So because I have all this information coming out, I can't remember useless things like who hurt me or what's like, none of that petty stuff. But for some reason, I always have this huge array of information to pull. And I can't recall it when it's not important. But when I'm talking to you guys, for some reason, it just like when I'm teaching, when I'm coaching, when I'm doing this, it's like I was made to do this because I can just pull from it and pull from it. It's really bizarre, but that's my life, I'm telling you. Sandy said, what types of books do you like to read? Everything. Psychology, sociology, anthropology, science, religion, self-help, personal development, like evolution, everything and anything. I don't read like novels and things like that, mainly just like nonfiction. But I have been doing this since I was 7. I think the only time I probably wasn't reading enough is that few years when I was a single mom, because I just didn't have that much time. But like, I don't know what it is. And I reread books a lot too. I have a whole library of books, and I probably read the same book 20 times, and it all seems like a separate book every time. I don't know what it is. I listen to books. I read them on Kindle. I have physical books. I am obsessed. I can't stop. Don't you get information overload from reading too much? I love reading too, but feel like I have to read snippets of different books at once. I don't know. For me, I'm just telling you how I am. I can just read and read and read. Everyone in my family knows what to get me, what I love to do. Like, it's just who Mina is. That's just what I love to do. I will probably be, when I die, like, this will be the thing that people will probably be talking about. Like, I'm telling you, I'm obsessed with it. I just love it. It brings my life so much joy. Laura said, I am manifesting generator. How can I attract the house of my dreams? I have it all designed in my mind. I have attracted other things, but not this. So now forget about it. If you have it on your vision board, you've designed it in your mind, now just like forget about it. Lose that vision board in your house. Take your attention off of it. It will happen soon. Sometimes when we're like too focused on something, by the way, this has happened to me many times when I have lost the vision board or like made a new one and forgotten about an old one, those things come faster for some reason. So now you've done your work, now let it go. I am a reader as well. I have so many books in my home. That's such an amazing gift to have. Thank you, Margaret. Jacqueline said, I'm stuck in where or how to find this man. How do you work on let the universe figure it out? Also about making a love list and thinking, does this guy even exist? You just do it. You just have faith. Like, you just make life easy. Like, are you one of those people that likes to make things, those people that have a PhD in overcomplicating things? Like, I don't have that. I have a type of personality where I have to simplify things. Like, that's what makes me feel really happy. So I stay in the present moment. I'm very clear on what I want. I'm messing up my hair. I'll write it, I'll put it on my vision board, and then I hand it over to God and it's done. It's not my problem. If God wants me to have it, it will. And if I'm not meant to have it, I also trust that God won't make it happen. So that's it. I don't even think about it anymore. Let it go. So you don't look at your vision board on a daily basis. So I have my vision board here, and I pray and meditate across from this. So I see it, but I don't do it as like an intention. It's there. Like it's always just there. It's also, you can't see it right now because I'm on my phone, so I can't show you, but it's also the backdrop of my phone. So I do things intentionally, but I'm also very like surrendered in the whole process. Like I trust God, right? And this is interesting because I don't follow any religion. I follow God's religion. So I said to God, you know, I spent my entire life studying religion because I wanted to find a religion that worked for me. And I couldn't find one because I like all the religions and I like all the things that they say, right? Most of the things. And they're very similar to me. So I said to God, God, if there is a religion that I'm meant to follow, could you please make it obvious for me? Like make it clear as day so I know which one it is. And in the next few meditations that I did, the answer that I got back was follow the religion that I follow. And I said, what's God's religion, right? And I discovered that it doesn't necessarily have a name. Like God's religion is faith and it's love. So now I have no worries. I don't worry about anything because I know that that's God's job. Like I'm covered. I just tell God what I want by thinking about it, like, oh, that'd be fun. And then that's it. I just let it go. If God wants to give it to me, I'll get it. If God thinks, see, God can see, in my opinion, God can see beyond my tiny little brain. So if God thinks I'm not ready for it, then it won't come right now. If God thinks I'm ready for it, then it will show up. If God thinks I shouldn't even have it, because it's not in the good of all beings, then I won't get it. And that's fine because we're not meant to have everything that we want. Like we are here to serve a purpose. And that's my thinking. So that's how I function. How do you find the time to read? So time is something that I don't have to find. Like it's just there. When I feel like doing it, I just do it. When you are done with your inner work, not done, I'm not done. When you have done enough inner work, you realize that your relationship with time changes and you can get whatever you need to get done because you realize that most of what you wanted to get done was coming from a wounded place. So the things that are my life values are priority to me, and reading is one of my biggest life values, so that's a big priority in my life. Thank you so much, Atara and the Aries Moon. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Thank you so much for the super chat. I so appreciate you. Said, hi Mina, I want to attract a sexy masculine man. I like that. I want to have intimacy, share my life with someone, and start a family. Some days I get down, but not all. How do I create that on my own while waiting? Ooh, so I talk about this in my hypnotic sex program. So if you haven't done the hypnotic sex program, you need to do that program because it's not really about sex. It's about this energetic relationship that you have with the divine masculine. And I have you do this frog meditation where you lay down with your legs open. I know it sounds kind of weird, but once you do it, your life will change. And you open up this container for the divine masculine. So the divine masculine is the masculine part of God. There's the feminine part and the masculine part, right? And this divine masculine energy is the energy of God source, father, husband, brother, like container, like structure. And it's just this really divine, beautiful, yummy, delicious energy. It's the energy of protection. And once you have this relationship with this divine masculine, you notice that your relationship with your own divine masculine inside of you starts changing. And this is going to sound so creepy, but I even asked this divine masculine energy for its name. That's the kind of relationship that I forged with this divine masculine. And the name that I got back was Akash, which, oh my God, I get chills just even sharing this. So Akash means sky in Hindi, I think. I'm not sure if it's a Sanskrit word, but it's definitely Hindi. It's not a Urdu word, it's a Hindi word. And so I was like, really, could it be Akash, right? And that same night, Irfan was like, oh, watch this Bollywood movie with me. And I was watching the Bollywood movie, and the name of the character in that movie was Akash. So I'm like, oh my God, like that's the name, like the sky. That's the name of the divine masculine that's speaking to me. So now when I have a problem or a concern or anything, I speak to that divine masculine energy. Let me give you an example. A couple of years ago, I got into like this little argument with my husband, and it wasn't an argument, like this little disagreement, right? And so we decided to like stop talking about it and go to bed. And so the next morning I came into my office and I started talking to Akash. I said, you know, dear divine masculine energy, Akash, what's going on? Like, please resolve this, like help me see his side. I don't want to worry about this. I'm handing it over to you. That the minute I said that, Irfan knocked on my door, my office door, and I opened it, and he was just like, I'm sorry, I totally see your point. I think I was being unreasonable. And I was like, Akash always comes through. So it's just this really, like, you realize that everything that's like that you desire, if you ask God, like it will, you don't have to ask a human being, you don't have to mold a human being, like everything just works out for you. Like I truly believe that everything works out for me, and it really does. Like God, I always say this, and I know some people get offended when I say things like this, so I don't mean to be offensive, but I'm telling you, there is someone up there that loves us so much that they're willing to give us whatever we desire, as long as it's not something that will destroy us in some way, right? Like just like with our kids, you know, I want to give my kids the best of everything, but I'm not going to give my 4-year-old a knife, right? Like that's not good for her. So I trust that if God's not listening to me, it must not be good for me anyways, you know? Like when I have faith, right? Like I'm not, I don't have space for fear. I have faith. God's got my back. I will try this meditation. Sounds potent. Yes, and if you want to learn more, it's in my hypnotic sex program. You can find that on my website, theuniverseguru.com. Oh, wow, that's amazing. Learning how to appreciate the men in my life more. Yes, yes. And not just even the men, babe. One of the things that I realize is that everything has, you know, things have a masculine and a feminine vibe, right? Your house, or if you are at university, your university represents the masculine. There's a container, there's a structure, right? So are you even appreciating, you know, those things? So when you start, when I walk into a building and I notice that that building is holding a structure for me and providing security and protection for me, I tap into and thank the divine masculine, right? Because that is also the divine. The fact that I'm sitting on a chair right now and not falling on the ground is a masculine structure holding me up. So are you thanking that? Right? That is also representing divine masculine energy. Like this is why people probably think I'm on something. I swear I've never in my entire life of 40 years even tried drugs, but I feel like I'm high all the time because all I notice is that how deeply loved and supported we are as human beings, and we don't even realize it. Yes, I need to learn more and worry less. Beautiful. When I was a little girl, I had a whole host of masculine brotherly angels, and today I reconnected with them. It was so special. That is so beautiful. I love it. That was a good point. So if God doesn't mean for me to have something, there is no amount of vision board that will make it happen. Absolutely. Like that's the surrender part, right? Right? Or if it's supposed to come up in a different shape, size, or color, right? Like it's let it happen. Mina, I wrote on my love list that I wanted to be with a man that likes to dance like me, and I got that. That is beautiful. I like that. That is so nice, Stephanie. He sounds amazing. I can't wait to meet him. Do you believe healing our relationship to the divine masculine is the key to more abundance and money flowing into our life? I don't know if it's the key, but it was one of the main things for me to attract feeling protected and feeling secure. And like, think about it. What is the divine masculine and feminine? It's two sides of God. And we are just the human manifestations of that. We're the human children of God that represent either the divine masculine or the divine feminine, in more so in one direction, right? We have both, right? I have the divine masculine, I have the divine feminine, but I have been asked to animate more of the divine feminine in this lifetime because I'm born a female that is very feminine energy. So having said that, like at the end, like I need to make sure that I am back to that wholeness that God intended for me, that God conditioned out. How do you create a vision board? So Maria, I have not only tons of free videos, but also a program called Law of Attraction vision board workshop listed in the description box, and I work you through the entire process and also how to create a 5D vision board. So you can check that out. Mina, it was ingrained in me to suffer and that we are not deserving of desires. I learned from you that we are deserving, and I do believe a loving God would want that for me. Of course, we are growth, we are expansion for God. So God is moving through us. So that's what I believe. I believe that, like, at the end of the day, if I'm God's child, I can kind of interpret what that would mean because I'm also a parent and I want my children to live their best life and not suffer. So I teach my kids to, like that's just something that people have this need for suffering, and we call it dramatizing in our family, like thinking about future unnecessary things. Eckhart Tolle calls it problem making. In my family, we say, are we dramatizing right now? Like, is like, and oh yeah, let's drop that, right? When we say in God we trust, in God we trust, like we trust God, so it will work out. Will the hypnotic sex program help me overcome this fear I have when my man initiates sex? I feel this predator energy, but he's not aggressive. It's just the initiating that startles me. Stephanie, it's really interesting that you say this. You don't have to answer this live if you don't want to, but do you have some history of like sexual molestation? Because I do, you know that. And I used to get really startled even if my husband would walk up behind me in the kitchen. And so I had to tell him, like he would see me jump up, and it wasn't because of him, it was just because of my past history. And to answer that, yes, because that frog meditation that I'm telling you about, it's actually designed for you to shed all the parts of you that you have somehow deemed unloving. And there's no parts of you that are unloving. All parts of you are worthy of intense love. But we get stuck in this through conditioning. So once you start releasing that, you'll notice that it takes, of course, this work takes time, but a lot of the people that took that program live with me had amazing breakthroughs even while the program was live, and you'll hear them talking about it. In the first session, there was a woman that talked about infertility. By the way, by the time she finished that program, she was pregnant. Now she had her baby. So you'd be surprised the stuff that we can create from these blockages and how we can start shedding this stuff. So it was really beautiful to see that. We are all loved and deeply supported. Yes, we are, Martha. My intention for 2021 is to always remember that. Great. I actually have a live stream that I did years ago called You Are Deeply Loved and Supported. I feel so loved and supported by God every time. And I'm not a fair weather lover either. Like, even if something negative is happening, like I go through stuff in my life and you could say some things may be considered negative, I don't allow myself to judge anything as negative because God would never want me to go through anything negative unless there was a bigger purpose. And what I have found is that even things that you and I or any human being would consider negative have later turned out to be the biggest blessings in my life. Yes, even the rape that I went through, at the time I was so dazed and confused and humiliated and shamed and all that stuff. But when I shared that with you guys on YouTube, when I finally had my voice to start sharing that, I think it was earlier last year, even the year before that, so many women from all over the world wrote to me saying, Mina, I also was raped or molested and I never shared it with anyone and I had suicidal thoughts. But when I see you talking about it so openly and I see you living your best life, I know I too can overcome this. And then I knew the purpose. I said, okay, God, you wanted me to be a teacher. I see that now. You wanted me to be here and teach this. So how could you expect me to teach something I had not been through? How could I have compassion and comfort and any sort of guidance for women if I had not been through these things? So thank you so much for those experiences. And I fully accept all the spiritual assignments that have been written for me. And I am not one of those faithful people that's only faithful in good times. I'm even more faithful in good times, and just as faithful in bad. Like, it, to me, it's like, if you're gonna have faith, you're gonna have faith. You're gonna trust. Wow, thanks for the update. I remember her in the program. So happy she was able to have the baby. Yes, the baby is probably even 1 now at this point, I'm thinking. Which one of your program helps with learning to trust, surrender more, and worry less? It's listed in the description box right now as the Divine Feminine Law of Attraction. That's the one. That's all on surrender and, you know, that concept of like letting go. And it's, I think it's only $197. Super, super affordable. Do you meditate every day? And if so, how long do you meditate for? I do meditate every day, and I let myself meditate for as long as I feel like it. Some days it's 20 minutes, some days it's 10, some days it's an hour, whatever I feel like. Visam said, hi Mina, what are your thoughts on law of assumption? What does that mean, babe? I'm not sure what that means. This was so informative and inspiring. I feel better already. Thank you, Mina. You are so welcome. Anytime. Sylvia, just Google it, babe. Okay, let's see. I read a lot too. Emotional Projector. I actually just read your whole ebook in one sitting. Oh, my old ebook. Yeah. I need to write a new one. It's an awesome way of creating. Hi, Mina. Hi, Whitney. I haven't seen you in a while. Welcome in. So what are some of your biggest limiting beliefs that you think you have? List them, and then we can talk about how the law of attraction, while you're doing your inner work, can help you overcome it. Sandy, they're open now. That the good guys are married. That's a good one. I know what that feels like. Yes. That's a good one. I feel so lost in love. Do you know who I am? Do know who I am and what I want out of life anymore? What can help me find myself again? Simply, Laura, try the High Value Worthy Woman Ascension program so that you can start relieving some of that triggers and limiting beliefs if you haven't already. Feeling obligated to complete a task for someone who, when asked. Oh, that's a big one for women. Worthiness for a healthy relationship and marriage. Okay. That if I get more money, I will be more tired managing more stuff. Oh my God, that's a big, I have heard that so much from people. When I ran the Wealthy Woman Consciousness program, that was a big one for them. Biggest limiting belief, I have to work forever because he won't let me be home and not belittle me. Oh my goodness. That it will be difficult to pay off my student loans. I should not have a lot of money. Let that go. I have a belief that I have to be perfect to manifest what I want. How to manifest when you're lazy. There are so many things I want, but I'm too lazy. I just don't have the energy and I give it up too fast. So manifest the energy first, right? I like that. I can't make money easily. I'm not business minded. I love these discussions. Okay, so when you look at these or any limiting beliefs, the first thing to ask yourself is this absolute truth? Or is this a limiting truth? An absolute truth is something that is true for every single person on the planet. Like the law of gravity, you don't have to believe in it, but it is true for you because you have to abide by the laws of physics, right? It is just true. So is this the truth about it will be difficult to pay off student loans? Well, are there people on the planet that paid off their student loans and maybe even did them with ease and grace? Yes. So that is a limiting reality, and I can choose to let that go because that is a lie. In fact, one of the practices in the High Value Worthy Woman Ascension is I teach you how to know the difference between a truth and a lie. And in a nutshell, a truth feels expansive in your body and a lie feels constricting. So when your energy is constricted, your vibration is cut off and you can't really communicate with God clearly. Like it's a mixed signal. And remember, we communicate with our vibration. That's the signal we're giving out, and then we're getting back what we desire. So ask yourself, is this absolutely true, right? Like in the case of money, Maggie, there are trillions and trillions of dollars in the United States in circulation right now, right? Correct? Right or wrong, right? Trillions of dollars. You're not asking for trillions of them. So there's so much, and you just, why can't you have a small piece of that? Like, it doesn't make any sense, right? So when you realize there is so much money in circulation, and you are just wanting a little slice of that, you realize there's more than enough. And there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to have it. There's so much of it. How do you relate praying to God for something versus law of attraction? I don't even think about this stuff. I don't spend a lot of time in my mental energy. So let me tell you guys a secret. All of our mental energy was given to us to manifest. Okay, so it is supposed to be creation energy. The more time we spend thinking about things like the past or remembering our future, also known as worrying for a lot of you guys, we are using up really potent life energy to think about things that don't matter. So I don't spend time in thinking about these things. Like the question that Marcella had, I don't know. Who cares? I'm just praying to God, right? So I ask myself and you, what's the point of these questions? Like what, and I'm not saying that I'm not trying to be mean. What I'm saying is notice that our brain will ask all these random questions and get us busy and doing busy work, solving the stuff that really at the end of the day doesn't matter. I don't care whether someone says, well, why are you using the word God? You're not religious, or what's your, like, I don't even think about, I'm just like, God, pray, surrender, faith, done. Like, that's it. It's easy. My limiting belief is not good enough for anything. I think praying needs to be intentional, faithful, rather than desperate. So Love said, is the law of attraction pure? The law of attraction is whatever you need it to be, right? Whatever is coming from inside of you, that's the meaning that you assign things. So if you think money is bad for you. If you think law of attraction is bad, law of attraction is bad for you. Whatever we believe, that's the meaning that we assign. So when people ask me these kind of questions, I always say, well, it is true for you, right? Like, because that's what you believe. So when you look at all of these living beliefs, realize that all of those are true, meaning those things are things that other people somewhere, someplace have achieved. And so those are not absolute truths. And so you can decide to say, I'm no longer available for this belief. And in the High Value Worthy Woman Ascension, I have you write out and work through the stuff. So if you need a little bit help, and if you have that program, you can go back and work through it again. If you don't, you really need to check it out if you need help. I want to quit my job but can't afford to. Worry comes in how my bills will be paid if I quit. How hard to trust they will magically somehow get paid each month. So take the magic out of it, okay? So this is what I would do. Let's say I wanted to quit my job, and I did at some point, right? So this actually happened to me. So I sat down and wrote it down that I wanted to be financially independent, because that you think of the positive happiness, right? And then I released it to God, and then I continued working my job until something came up, like me getting married, and then I didn't have to work. So the how is where a lot of people get stuck. I didn't get worried about the how. I trusted that if I was meant to have that thing, that somehow I would get it. Give this a thumbs up, ladies, if you guys are watching now, and subscribe. Sarah, you said that all the good guys are married. Let me talk a little bit about this, because this is really interesting to me, because I hear this from single women all the time, that all the good guys are taken. You know, there aren't enough good guys in my city, all this stuff. I am surrounded by good guys, like amazing guys that want to provide, that are amazing, upstanding citizens and high value men. So, but that's my belief, right? Like when I was, even after my divorce and I had that experience happen to me, like when I was doing real estate, I saw so many great examples. I also saw some men that weren't so great, but I also saw men that were. So that's my belief. Whatever your belief is, you tend to zone out the other things so that you only see the things that match your belief systems. So you really have to say, is this absolute truth? Like, is this something that if I turned on the news, that like it would be on the news that all the good guys have been officially married, we are, you know, declaring a state of emergency, there are no good men left. No, that would be ridiculous, because they're all around you. But here's the thing. When you believe there's no good man, even if he shows up in front of you with your attitude and what you can, like what he can read from you, he may not be good for you, because you can't see his goodness. He's not gonna, anything he does is not gonna be good enough. You'll sabotage it. You'll think he's not cute enough. Like all the ridiculous things women do, right? So have to release that. We have to live in the present. How do you let go of worry? So Margaret, the day that I decided that I believed in God, there was no space for worry. So for me, it was just realizing that there is someone up there looking out for us, and that everything is working out in divine order. I believe that God and fear can't live in the same heart. It is impossible. If I even try to think of something fearful, I can't, because my entire heart has been consumed by God. So I can't even wrap my head around that. So remove fear, add God, done. Or you don't even have to remove fear. I think when you put God there, fear is gone. You can't, like God and fear cannot reside in the same heart. Damn, you are already at 39.3. Yay! I'm gonna have to let Ayan know. It will be so cool if you get to 40K this year. My fingers are crossed. Thank you, Abby. I appreciate that. I've been updating Ayan every day. He's the one that challenged me to that. Limiting belief. People like to say you should be happy by yourself, but the people saying that have partners and great relationships. So listen to them. Listen to them, because that is the key. They know something, right? They realize that you cannot have a happy marriage if you are not a happy person. And happy people do not walk around saying that they have to add something to be happy, because they're already happy. When you're happy, people want to merge their lives with you. So that's the secret. I live in Atlanta, and I hear women say that about the men here all the time. I see that they usually end up attracting bad men. That's what they believe. I always try to stay positive about the dating pool here. Yeah, I mean, I don't even understand this concept, because you only need one. right? Like I could see if the whole purpose of life was to find 2,000 great men that match your love list, and I could say, okay, well, like I could say maybe that will be hard in the city that you live, maybe, right? Like I still know, but like maybe we could say that. The purpose is to find one. So you're telling me that all these amazing women that are out there have all raised loser sons? Like it's just not how it works, right? I see like my life is surrounded by really amazing police officers and neighbors and community members and the people at my kids' schools and family members and their family members and my clients' husbands and boyfriends and people that I know. Like I like this is one of those limiting beliefs that shocks me. Like how can you not see that the world is full of amazing people and finding love and getting married is like such a biological like need of ours that everyone wants to do it. You have to work hard against it, right? For people that don't want to do it, totally fine, I get it, but most people want to. So it's like the easiest thing to do because we're biologically designed that way. And then there's people walking around saying there's no good men out there, men don't want to get married. Wow, like what happened? All of a sudden humans broke in this generation? Like what happened? It doesn't make any sense. Thank you. Loving these live chats. Please keep them up. You are welcome, babe. As a projector, how do I manifest without access energy from others? Should I be conserving my limited energy instead of using it continuously to manifest? So manifesting doesn't use any energy. Think of it this way. I think you're misinterpreting this. As a projector, you need to do two things. One is know your worth, and it doesn't come from working or achieving. Just know that I am born as God's child and I'm worthy. And secondly, self-care, self-care, self-care. And what self-care looks like for a projector is play. So use your energy to play. Play means what you love to do. So right now, the fact that I'm talking to you guys, I love to do this. This lights me up. This is play for me. Taking naps is play, playing with my kids is play, flirting with my husband is play, reading is play. That all is on the self-care category. As long as you do those two things, things will magnetically come to you because that's just a projector aura. But it needs to be playing and having fun. I love this part of the day. Thank you for the wisdom you're sharing with us every day. You are welcome. Mina, I have noticed that I am a lot more sensitive since I started being more in my feminine. Is this normal? Yes, like the senses is the realm of the feminine. Yes, and that's good. That means you're unnumbing yourself, right? You're. Am I back? Oh, I don't know what is going on with YouTube. Okay, good. Thank you for letting me know. Okay, great. Let me see. Do you pray with your kids like the traditional praying? No, we don't. We have other things that we do that are more just like high vibration, spending time together and things like that. But I've taught my kids to pray the way that I teach it, and they do it on their own. How can I attract someone I really love? So follow, make your love list, all the stuff we talked about since we've been live. Watch from the beginning, know what that means for you. What do you want to attract? Step into it as the reciprocal. Put it on your like write it down as an intention. Then step into the woman that person would also desire. How do you start feeling worthy without having to earn it? That's my limiting belief. So just say to yourself every single day, I'm worthy. I used to say when I first started to step into that, I'm huge on affirmations. I know a lot of people don't like them. I love them. I know how the brain works, right? If you study neuroplasticity, you study like how the brain works, neural networks. Whatever you say and do repeatedly, it creates new networks in your brain. So I used to repeatedly say, I'm enough, I'm worthy, I'm enough. And then I started doing little small changes every day to convince myself that I was worthy. So one of those things was I was such a people pleaser that I would end up saying yes to everyone and then be really overwhelmed. So I started saying no to people. And in the beginning, it felt really uncomfortable because I wasn't used to it. But that was proof to myself that I was worthy. And slowly I started moving in the right direction. So little changes like that, like ending things before I got exhausted, saying no to events I didn't want to go to. You know, simple things like that started proving to myself that I was worthy in my own eyes, that I didn't have to like give or give too much to be someone that was worthy. Hi, Mina, can you do favor on how to organize and automate bills and how you ensure they are paid, or how you organize all your paperwork and scan in your home? Um, the automation stuff, I have talked about some of that in the Quantum Queen. I don't know if you're in there like creating a sacred container and stuff. That is something that's super masculine, and like that's Irfan's job in our house. So he's done everything where it's automated. He even says that if he didn't log in and didn't pay the bills for a year, they would get continuously paid on their own. So he's automated all of that, and I can log in and check all of that on mint.com. So it's like all done by him. I like to, let's see. I like to write down intentions and date them and keep another notebook for when the manifestation appears. So it shows you how much you're actually creating your reality. Okay. For some reason, thinking of dating a 40-year-old scares me. I'm 31. I feel like they won't like me. How can I shift this? So get a rotation of men. As I always say, don't just date one 40-year-old, right? Get a rotation of men that are various ages. So someone who's 34 maybe, someone who's 37, and then someone who's 40. So have a whole rotation and see how it works out for you. You don't have to do it all like one or nothing. What kind of things do you put on your love list? Does this just include characteristics or physical desires as well? Is it superficial to want someone of a certain age, height, salary? So I already discussed this, babe, in the beginning. I like to put more qualities. I like to co-create with God, but I did have in my vision board that I needed at least 100 and like six-figure salary, because in my head, I used to live in Chicago, and I thought that's how much money it was needed to have like the type of life that I want. You know, I don't think it's superficial, but don't get stuck on that either, because sometimes God has a different plan for us. And you have to understand that, are you creating by yourself, which is going to be really hard, or are you co-creating with God, which is really easy? No, Kissy, I haven't studied astrology. I'm sorry. Yeah, definitely go through it, and also watch my love list. I have like a whole playlist of videos on love list. I work mainly with qualities because those are my values. Like, notice when I read the love list, it said nothing about Irfan's height or anything like that, because if he matches the other characteristics, like what does it matter how tall he is, right? Like I just don't think it would matter to me as long as I was happy. Would you say money is masculine energy? I would first ask why it matters to you. Why does it matter? Because I feel like answering that question uses up too much creative energy, and you should be using your creative energy to create. But to answer your question, I think money has both feminine and masculine qualities. So I teach in my wealth consciousness program like the energy of money, and in the high value finance program my husband has taught the spiritual side and the financial literacy part. So you need both. And I would say that the energy part of it is the feminine part, what you can attract, what you can call forth. And then the physical, like the literacy part is the masculine. So I think it's both. But honestly, I think don't get tied up in this. I honestly like would advise you guys to not get tied up in it. You are using up really precious creation energy to answer questions that don't matter. If you took that energy and instead focused it on living in the present moment and enjoying the life that you have now, whatever you desire would be coming at you so much faster. But the more time you spend in the energetic plane, the less you're actually creating. I'm sorry, in the mental plane, the less you're creating. Margaret, I would recommend the Wealth Consciousness Program for sure then. It's called the Wealthy Woman Abundance in the link below. Mina, you never talk too much about your father. Would you share about that? Sorry if it's too private, but I think it could help some women with their search for a relationship. So what would be your questions? Like, what's the question? What about him? And I think I've talked about him quite a bit. I talk about my parents all the time, I feel like. So I guess an overview would be that just like everyone else, I had a pretty complicated relationship until I went back into my past and did my inner work and tweaked it. And now I have a wonderful relationship. Of course, he's passed. I still see him in my dreams. He still communicates with me, but that relationship is transformed. How did you teach your kids about money? Through modeling mostly and lots of discussions. So which plane do we need to be to co-create with God? Right here, right now. What are you doing right now? And is all of your energy here? If you are sitting here thinking, all of your energy is not here. Your energy is in the mental plane. It's like in the past or the future maybe, thinking about things that don't matter, and you're losing energy. But if you're here, and you're engaged with the physical environment, your field is activated. I talk about that in the quantum field. In the first lesson, we talked about it. Your field is activated, then game on. Now you're creating. Now you're creating fast because all your energy is here where it's needed. Your videos this week have been so very enlightening. Appreciate all your time and energy. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yep, it's in the now. You gotta be in the now. Is it freezing? Someone said it's freezing. Yeah? Sylvia, babe, I can't because you're asking really redundant questions that I've answered a million times and that have nothing to do with this live stream. So if you could please stick on topic, I would. I love you, but you keep asking about something that we're not talking about right now. And I've answered it like a bazillion times. I think healing your relationship with yourself and with those two parts of you, the divine masculine, divine feminine, which I taught you guys in the sacred feminine, I think that is a key to bringing all your energy in the present. Otherwise, you're constantly just thinking back, you know, my childhood, all this stuff, and that's still like autopilot running the show. Do you think it's best a very specific love list or a general one? Doesn't matter. Just as long as you know what your values are and they're on there, doesn't matter. Don't overthink it. This is such a big ego trick. Like our ego does this. It confuses us and says we need more information. Like my kind of process, I've totally messed up my hair. My process for everything is learn a little bit and then jump into it and then tweak it and then just keep making it easier and easier and easier. I am allergic to complicated. I am so allergic to anything that's complicated. I need things to be as simple as possible. Do different human designs attract in different ways? They receive in different ways slightly, but don't read up too much into it. We're all human on the basic level, and yeah, if you want to fine tune it a little bit, you can. But people who haven't done their inner work and they get into human design, it's a disaster. I've seen it too many times where they get so pigeonholed. I'm so glad I found human design after I had done most of my inner work, because I probably would have done the same thing. How do we know what we want is what we really want and not from the wounded part of us? We don't until we've done our inner work. That's why I'm constantly tweaking. Just trust the process. Sometimes you're meant to attract the things that are not meant for you, really, so that you can learn and evolve. So my belief is if it arrived, there was some purpose for it, learn from it, and evolve. Gosh, Mina, you're so lucky. My middle name is complicated. Well, it's luck or it's a decision. That's a decision that I made, that I am not available for anything complicated because easy is more fun. I can complicate boiling water. You guys are so funny. Abby, how are you? What's been new? We need to connect. We need to do a Zoom call or something. Oh my God, just like with cooking and baking, learn a little and then tweak. Yes, that's like the formula of life. Otherwise, you go into analysis paralysis. I am so not one of those people. I'm surprised I'm still alive, actually, because I don't, like, my husband will spend time reading the instructions and I will just like dive into it. Like, it's just like, let's just do it and we'll figure it out. I am too allergic to complicated, my dear. Analysis paralysis, yes. Now this is my new statement. Easy is more fun. Yes, there's like no space in my life for anything complicated. This is, okay, Irfan's gonna kill me for saying this, but he's not like this anymore, I swear. But Irfan was the king of making everything complicated when I met him. Oh my God, this was something that we were not aligned on. And over the years, I have worked on him to get that to change. Now, like, that's why I'm telling you, you do your inner work and then you infected the other person, okay? You know how people say surround yourself with wealthy or successful people? Why would they want to hang out with people less successful? This is so true. Oh my goodness. So I am one of those people that I like to give everyone a chance and like, yay, I can get along with everyone. But now I understand why most wealthy people don't want to hang out with less successful people, because they're just so energetically draining sometimes. I'm not like saying that's everyone, but I have certain friends that aren't as successful. And instead of having the attitude of like, okay, like agree to disagree, or you're in your living your, what they spend time doing is poking holes in your life. And that's the part that's really annoying. So I get it. I've been on both ends, and I'll tell you that I'm not saying like I have something to teach them or anything like that. I'm not saying that at all. But they use up a lot of energy trying to like just make fun of you, put you down. And it's like, I don't need to put up with this, right? So I see why they didn't. And in fact, we have some wealthy friends too, like similar network as us, that we hang out with, and we discuss this kind of stuff. And I've really changed my thoughts about this, so I can totally understand it. I think another thing to do is stop worrying about like hang out with wealthier people. Hang out with people that are positive. Okay, so to me, that means people that have the ability to be tolerant of other people's beliefs. This is one of those things that I don't understand. People spend so much time arguing about things that make no sense, like trying to convince other people that their religion is the right religion, trying to convince other people that Why are you using your potent creation energy and wasting it on irrelevant stuff? Like, I feel like wealth consciousness people, at least I believe, or abundance mindset people, the number one thing you need to realize for this is that the world is supposed to be colorful. If God wanted us all to be the same person, we would have just been one, or we would have all looked the same, or we would have been the same color, or the same height, or the same nationality. But we are not, which means that God loves variety and God loves color and God loves different things, right? So stop using your, like every week I'll get messages and emails from people trying to convince me to convert into their religion. And I'm like, I'm so happy for you that you have found your religion, but no, thank you, right? Like that's for you. Religion, spirituality, your belief systems are to dignify your human experience. Save it for yourself. Be tolerant that other people are supposed to have different views than you. They're supposed to have different lifestyles. And that doesn't mean that they're attacking you if they're living differently, right? So it's all meant to be colorful. This is something that I'm teaching my kids, and I'm so happy that all three of my kids are at that point now where they get it, that everyone has a different opinion, and that's a good thing. And you never have to justify your opinions, convince anyone, change anyone's mind. None of that. It's a waste of your creation energy. So don't do it. Make your life easy and simple. Can you speak a little bit about space and allowing? Often ladies get in a place of not allowing. I've done this lately, and my energy is others aren't allowing, pushing the process. So another way of saying this is to be in the energy of receiving. What that looks like is be here right now and engage with whatever is in front of you. Okay, so if you're watching this, watch this. If you're eating, like really eat it and enjoy the senses. If you're drinking water, really drink the water and feel it. Like be engaged with whatever is in front of you, and you are automatically in that space of allowing because you are receiving right now. That's it. It's easy. Thank you, Poonam. Poonam, I do whatever I'm called in, like in that moment. So when that strikes, I'll do it. But I typically try not to plan out because then I feel like I'm forcing myself to do videos that I don't feel like doing. But my life's motto is that I only do in the moment what I feel like doing. I feel like that's a divine invitation because it feels good. And I don't force myself to do anything I don't want to do, or it's not a divine inspiration. That's like to me, it's the ultimate freedom of life. You know, Mina, I have transformed my life in the past year, all because of you. My 25 kg, wow, weight loss, my husband being providing, general contentment with gratitude. It's all you. I'm so grateful for you, my angel. Thank you so much. And those are some amazing things to manifest. Wow, 25 kg? Oh my God. I think that's like close to 50 pounds, isn't it? Wow. Is it normal to feel like my credibility and ability is questioned if someone is protective for me, especially if a man does something for me? I feel almost rejected. I'm not sure how to answer if something's normal. Is it normal for you? I mean, do you want to do it now? Like, do you want to continue feeling that way? Are you still available for it? I don't like the word normal because what is usually normal is not necessarily my ideal. Like, for example, in the United States, 70% of people live paycheck to paycheck. So it's normal to live paycheck to paycheck. It's normal, but I don't want to do that, right? It's normal for people to have a 9-to-5 job. It's normal, but I don't want to do that. So you want to stop asking, is this normal? And say, what do I want? What am I available for, right? What do I want for my life? Variety is the spice of life. Love that. Okay. Easy is more fun. Yes. All right, ladies, but I think I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me. All the products that I mentioned are linked in the description box. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new here. I've got a really fun live scheduled for Monday on, it's the entire process of dating to get the ring. Of course, it's rooted in the law of attraction and having that belief system. So that's why I did this video first. But that's going to be happening on Monday. Turn on your notifications if you want to know when I'm live, because sometimes I change the time around depending on my schedule. But thank you so much. This was so much fun. Yes, I'm going to hopefully bring Irfan on soon. Thank you. Thank you.